Yes.
Fear will not own us. Yes?
Yes.
And that's a real thing, and I gotta tell you, it wasn't until, and I won't retell the whole story, but it wasn't until I one time had an opportunity to walk on fire when I realized then the biggest lesson I got of that experience is that fear is a choice.
Yes.
A little hard to believe, right? It seems a little counterintuitive, but fear is a choice that we entertain. And so that song, I just absolutely love and adore that song. Lila, can I have my phone? And you can have this. And you can start handing those out for me. I have a little handout for you today because I'm giving you an assignment for the month of December. But today's talk is, and I want to read this to you because I just love, this piece of wood behind me. It's really funny, and I didn't think about it when I wrote this, but life is like a Rorschach test. Depending upon what you carry around within your consciousness, you experience life. Let's choose to lift our sight up and spiritualize everything that is around us. Remember that life happens for us, not to us. Let's let gratitude be our reality. Now, you would think I was back on last Sunday, but the fact is I can't encourage you enough to take on the practice of not only gratitude, but how we label things. And so Lila was coming with me this morning, and she found this in the back seat. It's the cards that we put on the A-frame that goes outside. And she was reading it aloud. It was like, ooh, that's juicy. It's who we are. So I want to read this to you because it's likely you've never seen it. And if this does not represent who we are, I want you to stop me in my tracks, okay? Because I believe that this little pamphlet is who we are. When you pass through the doors of the Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey, you will engage individuals who believe in personal responsibility. Yes?
Yes.
Who believe in, who know they co-create their lives in collaboration with the intelligence that is everywhere present. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. We are a people who practice self-love and self-acceptance because we know to love another, it must begin within. Yes, right?
Wouldn't mind a little more consistently, but yes.
Yes, okay. More consistent, Neil says. We practice forgiveness as a way to sever the limiting attachment to pain and to free ourselves and others from old stories. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. We practice compassion because we know that we can never really know what another human is going through.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes.
I mean, that could be a little tough, right? When you're challenged with somebody and you're sure that they're just being a dumbass, and the truth is that they really have something big going on, We love and accept ourselves and all individuals, no matter the color of their skin, the religion they practice, their gender identity, or their sexual persuasion. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. We do not need to agree with others. This is important. We do not need to agree with others to have love and compassion for them. We don't even need to like them.
Yes.
But we do want to respect them. Does that make sense?
Yes.
A little challenging, right? That's where mastery starts to kick in. And that's what, I guess my dream is that all centers for spiritual living everywhere kind of work on these principles, some more than others. We deeply care about our values like community, compassion, acceptance, diversity, equality, and inclusion. Yes?
Yes.
We care about our families, healthy, fully expressed families.
Yes.
Yeah, a little more enthusiasm would work. We care about you and your wholeness as an individual, knowing that as your life is full, you become a model of possibility for those around you. Yes?
Yes.
And that's your call to action, actually. And lastly, we gather, be it online or in person, to join our love and our light to shine brightly so others will see the path and join us on this journey. Life can be hard, but it doesn't have to be. At the Center for Spiritual Living, North Jersey, we offer the mystical, metaphysical, and the practical as a way of being whole. From our love to yours, join us.
Good.
Yeah, thank you. I like that too. And the purpose of today, and oh man, this it could be a little bit tricky, and which is why I handed you each, or my Lila, I think somebody walked in, Stephanie walked in, and she might not have one of these yet. I'm gonna back up. Our world is a reflection of what we see.
Yes.
Our world is a reflection of what we believe. Our world is a reflection of what we feel. Okay, so how is your world looking? Is your world looking challenging? Or is it looking, beautiful? Now, I don't want you to feel trapped in that answer. If for some reason you're seeing some hard stuff right now, that's okay. But probably the single most important quality of behavior for a metaphysician is to be willing to take responsibility. Because when we take responsibility, we are able to then change what is near us. If I think that Evelyn is a distraction to my world because she's sitting here knitting, then I'm going to see a challenge. Or I look at her and say, oh, she's probably making socks. Are you making socks? She's making socks. You see, depending upon my label, and we spoke about this last week too, if you go outside right now, besides being a little bit on the chilly side, right, you can call this day gloomy, or you can call this day just gray. It's a gray day. I don't have any strong feelings about the word gray, but I have stronger feelings about the word gloomy. It's what I bring to the table. It's what you bring to the table. It's what you bring to the relationship. It's what you bring when you walk in the room. You gotta get that. There's no exception. We are experiencing the life that we carry around with us. And if you are a righteous individual about certain things, and you walk around inside that righteousness, placing everybody in their place, putting them in the rightful place, what do you think that experience is? What do you think that is going to cause in your life experience? When we need to control, it's because we feel threatened. And we're not remembering that we, you, and I are always protected. We are always guided. We are always loved. We are always part of Source. There is no exception. There's no exception to that. One of the important words that I admit I don't use often enough, on Sundays, but this is a very important word, and the word is embodiment. Embody. We need to embody the principles. We need to embody what that is. So, when Thanksgiving, you show up for Thanksgiving. If you want to have a glorious day of closeness and warmth and love, you must be the embodiment of that. You can't go to get it. You must bring it into the room. For those of you who are out in the, still, working, and we have, a fair mix of retired and non-retired people, what we bring to our workplace, what we bring, not what happens there, is what governs our experience. Ernest Holmes says, and this is page 86 for those who want it, on the textbook, Those at home, you could reach for your textbook if you want. Another principle which is fundamental to our practice is that not only what is set in motion can be changed, but that the truth known is demonstrated. The knowledge of truth and its demonstration is both simultaneous and instantaneous. I want to stop for a second. Because sometimes I think one of the difficult things in learning how to offer treatment or being in prayer practice is that when we speak the word, we might not have an immediate, it might not be in your hand, right? You ever have that? But the reason why we can say it happens instantaneously is if you and I have surrendered to the power that lives within, that dwells within, when we speak our word, see, the seed is planted. All seeds need time to grow.
Yes.
All seeds need time to grow. Now, that doesn't mean the miraculous can't happen. I've seen that also. I've seen somebody, and I always think about Joe Christiana and her shoulder and her surgery and how she blew the doctors away in recovery, and others of you that have blown the doctors away with the way you've recovered because you were activating spiritual principle while needing physical support. You understand? So surrendering is another key element. We embody the principles and then we surrender all stress and everything over so that we can allow more space in us to accept this good and very good. He finishes since we are dealing with that which is limitless, knowing no big and no little, that's real, the possibility of our demonstration rests not in the principle, but in the acknowledgement of and the embodiment in it of the ideas we desire experienced. The saying of peace will not produce peace unless back of that word is a realization of the meaning of peace. So in the simplicity of our own language, we try to convince ourselves of the reality of that for which we are treating, knowing that in such degree as we have an embodiment of the idea, it is thrown into a mechanical field and must operate. You and I are in charge, responsible for, have ownership over, whatever language, our lives. The sooner we can have a collective agreement on that and not be afraid of what that means, the more powerful we are. So let me reiterate you something you've heard many times, but I'm feeling this feeling I gotta remind everybody the important stuff now. We can't blame another and be strong to change. You can't find fault in another and have the power to change. Blame and fault disempower you. Can you hear that?
Yes.
So it might be scary to take ownership. I'm trying to think of how I could tell you that it doesn't have to be scary. I guess how I could, what you might need to not make it scary is to not judge yourself for doing that. Because so often we're afraid of the judgment. Here's what I'm going to invite you to do. And I've given you a handout. And it's on the back of my blog from last week. Some of you might read them, but I don't think you see them all the time. The blog from last week was Thank You, Pain. And I did get back a number of comments. And I got to tell you, anybody can say, oh, thank God for my Thanksgiving meal. Oh, thank God for my friends. Oh, thank God for the roof over my head. The master is the one who says, thank God for my pain. Thank God for this disease. Thank God for the cancer. Thank God for the challenge. Good morning. The expert, the master, knows that all things, all of life, all the challenges, all of it is for us. Yes?
Yes.
All of it. There's no exceptions. And so as we engage life in that way, as we thank it and we activate it. Last week we spoke about activation. Activation, embodiment. These are words that I'd like to get back into our vernacular around here. So this is what I'm going to invite you to do for the month of December. And I'll get Sandy to put this reminder on the website in case you want it. When something feels questionable, instead of disagreeing with it, immediately say, how is this for me? Immediately. How is this for me? Your tire, what do you call it? Blows out on the highway. How is this for me? You don't have, you wanted tickets to a big show and there were no tickets. How is this for me? You change your power. You increase your power when you change that habit. Do you understand? Is that clear? And it can't be because it's obvious. Do it anyway. Do it anyway. Come to it with that without question. You might not understand it. That's okay. But when you reach inside and you call that up, you call up the whole idea of blessing. You call up the whole idea that the universe is working for us. It pulls up intelligence inside of your being from your inner landscape out. Yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank God for the checkbook, even when there's no money in it. Thank God for the diagnosis, no matter what it is. Thank you to that challenging personality for what I am learning about myself. Because when I run, elbow shoving going on in the audience. Yeah. Thank God for If you can live with this concept, nothing, no thing, no individual will have power over you ever again. None of it. I can't tell you how true this is. Every day, no matter what the day looks like, for the entire month of December, when life appears to be challenging, when you feel stuck, when the report from the doctor wasn't quite what you were hoping for, or when you don't think you have enough money to get through the holidays, ask yourself this. Oh, it's on the wrong page. Sorry about that. Where is it? How is the universe conspiring on my behalf? How is the universe conspiring on my behalf? Or if you want to make it just shorter, how is this for me? How is this for me? And it will cause you to see differently. In order to have the life you and I want, we must see with what we are seeking. Is that clear? In order to have the life we want, we must be what we are seeking. We must be the love. We must be the truth. We must be the full embodiment of principle. We must imagine that which we desire, and then imagination will activate the brain and will change the communication inside. That is what is necessary. Last week we also spoke about using reward as a way to keep that dopamine flowing, so we keep reaching for good things. Well, when you do this for yourself, when you totally remember to go in this direction, which it might might feel a little bit like a battle. It might initially feel like you're lying to yourself, right? Over the years, and over all the years you've been in this community, I'm sure sometimes you've thought to myself, well, I don't want to lie when you're feeling challenged. I don't want to lie, but see, it's not lying because we're activating another part of the brain. We must activate it, and then we must reward ourselves for going in that direction. And we must embody what we seek. We must embody what we seek. The science of mind is not difficult. As a matter of fact, it's so simple, it could almost be dismissed. Some people think it doesn't go deep enough. Some people criticize it because, unlike Unity or like A Course in Miracles, Ernest Holmes doesn't have a book where he tells you, do this and don't do that. We are not a teaching of instruction. We are a teaching of activation, activating inner wisdom, inner guidance, inner confidence, inner compassion, all of it. We activate it. We're not about telling you how you should teach your science class, how you should work with your clients. We don't do that. We look at each other and we say, I trust the power of the presence that's in you. And I trust that it does the best it can at every given moment. That's how we activate it. We activate it by seeing it in each other. Now, I didn't finish, I saw some article, and I can't quite remember, I didn't read the whole thing because whatever happened. But sometimes those of us who are positive and live that way a lot, sometimes what happens is we project our positivity onto the wrong people sometimes. You know what I'm talking about? Like every once in a while, you give credit for someone being a way that they're not because you can't see it. You understand what I'm saying? So if that happens, and if they are not quite what you projected them to be, that's when we learn just total acceptance. Acceptance. Accepting people as they are. Because the more we accept what is, the more it grows within us to have the wherewithal to rise up and to do our life on our terms. I am so, I get disappointed when I see people say that they don't think science of mind is deep enough. Because I just can't disagree more, right? I really don't understand that. Now, it has levels of understanding, levels of engagement. It does. And we each get to determine what that is. But I have spent much of my adult life, trying to let go of some of my conditioning. It was a little bit rough. But what I'm experiencing now is I think I finally got on the other side of that mountain. Because it was a mountain. It's been challenging. My challenge with my feeling challenged by the center and the condition of the center has been challenging. Excuse me. For many things. But it feels like I finally got to the top of the mountain, and not for any other reason than faith, principle, practice, meditation, teaching, because every time I teach, I learn. Every time I teach, I learn more. And it feels like I'm kind of starting to have this easier experience right now. But I had to activate it. It didn't just happen. I activated it. Nothing is beyond us as long as we continue to activate the good. So I have a request. No, well, number one, I would like you to embrace. Oh, there it is. Okay. I did it right on your page. I would like you to embrace this month of miracles that you have. It's on this sheet with the blog. The reason is, we don't have to make miracles. We don't have to make good. We don't have to make joy. We have to allow it. If you're not experiencing joy and good and health and those things, it's because some part of you is not quite allowing it. There's a difference. We don't have to go out and make the world good. We have to sit back and create receptivity. Our job is to be more and more receptive to good, to love, to beauty, to joy, to all those things. So here's my other request, though, besides inviting you to really see what happens if you practice this every single day for the month of December. But I decided that I wanted to provide a class, excuse me, one sec. Kissing those grandkids. It's worth it. It's totally worth it. So as of December 11th, I am going to be teaching a 6-week class. I'm doing it during the day and I'm doing it at night. An hour and a half each. And it is back to Science of Mind principles. It is only for members of this community. Only. Because this is what I'm asking you to do. If you can. If you really can't, you can't. I've made it so cheap, money should not be in the way. If that's in the way, you talk to me. I would love to see us study the Science of Mind principles together for 6 weeks. And then what's going to happen, we will be rolling over into January, where we once again revisit the beginning of the book. Why? Because immersing ourselves in the principles of the science of mind will be just one glorious way to activate the good. This is the sheet, and I'm asking you to consider joining me either daytime or evening, and to do it with the community. I want to see as many of you there as can possibly be there, so we can pray together. We can talk about spirit together. We can identify what our word for God is together. We can say what we don't like together. Let us do this as a community. I believe the value will be very evident once we go in there. So please, I'm going to actually pressure you. I'm going to actually put a little bit of pressure on you right now. Who's willing to sign up? Who says that they can sign up? Great, perfect. If nothing else, consider it a fundraiser for the center. Good for you. Thank you.
We've got Marilyn online, too.
Marilyn online, beautiful. Anyone else online, too? Beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah, I see Dave and Dawn Lee. And
Good, beautiful.
can't see the others.
All right. We'll get that link. Actually, I think it's probably already in our newsletter.
It's already in the chat.
Oh, it's in the chat. Yes, Sal?
So I think I have the rural version of the Science of Mind book, so we require that book.
Yes, you will need the Science of Mind textbook. And what I'll do is I will ask Sandy to identify the proper link, and we'll put it in the next newsletter so you don't have to wonder. Yeah, there's a number of versions. We do not want the compilation because it'll drive us crazy. If your Kindle, if the pages match, which I don't think they do, okay, but you know, yeah, I think it has to be. The page. This is it, but this is the leather bound, which we have a few of these left for sale if you want them. It's beautiful to have the leather bound section. Yes, Marcia.
Just a question about in-person and online. So the night is Zoom and the day is in-person?
No, you can, first in person is at my home. Both, there's options. You want to come during the day at my home, you can come during the day. You want to come at night at my home, you can come at night. There is a limit of how many people. So
The Zoom, like, is it for both? You're doing Zoom at the
Yes.
same time?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, everything, so everybody can get everything simultaneously. Yeah. Did you have another Andrew, did you have a question? Was there on?
Is there a sleepover option?
What do you say? Is there a sleepover option? If you don't mind a 75-pound pit bull licking your face.
Oh, magic.
Yes, magic is. I'm just going to tell you a funny story. Michael takes his dog out for a walk this morning, and my neighbors started decorating. They put one of those big hard plastic snowmen outside. The dog has found his nemesis. He was growling and like he never gets that way, except for the snowman. It's hysterical. Okay, so join me. Let's be in conversation. You know what? You know what I'm going to do? Sign up anyway. I'll record every class and send it to you. So if you can't physically be there, you can't be there on Zoom, I'll send it to you because I want you all to have the option. Yes?
Yes.
All right. Please stand with your neighbors and hold a hand. Lila, you need to put that. By the way, today I decided to sponsor one of the Sundays because our budget is hurting. Anybody, if you're willing to sponsor a Sunday, please do so. Let's make sure that the center has everything it needs to continue its work. Okay, God is good. Spirit is good. Love is good. Love is available. Love is available in, through, and as each one of us here and now. And any part of the mind for any one of us, any part of us where there's doubt or fear or confusion, let us know that it is cast out. It is cast out. We will never again be distracted from our profound beauty, from our profound love. Let us walk in this love, model this love. Let love be who we are in every moment with every breath. When we hug our children, let them only feel love. When we hug our grandchildren, let them only feel love. When we hug those who challenge us, even if it's in our own mind, let it only be about love. Let love be our guiding principle. If you're willing to accept this, say yes.
Yes.
Yes. So sweet, loving Spirit, I declare that each individual listening, that good and love and health and bold prosperity is now activated in their lives. That there are open doors and green lights happening for every individual listening. There is something right happening for every individual listening. There is something working for each individual listening. Yes?
Yes.
If you accept it, say a bold yes.
Yes. Yes.
And this is how we activate our good. For this and so much more, I am so incredibly grateful. And I surrender this word as I allow it to be so. And so it is.
So it is.
And so it is.